warm welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV on this third day of January 2024. A happy new year indeed. Thank you for joining us for the latest happenings in the news. My name is Melissa Oduor. On the sign language is Boniface Mrevi. Happy new year to you, sir. Newswatch begins now. The Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association, KMJA, has castigated President William Ruto over his recent statements against the judiciary and those who hold judicial offices. In a statement, the KJMA cited the president's statements yesterday, giving the government officials directives to allegedly disobey court orders over claims of corrupt courts and stating that his government will not allow judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. KMJA says the president's insinuations that the court orders are a manifestation of judicial tyranny is an interference with judicial independence. The association pointed out that the judiciary, judges and judicial officers play a pivotal role to the functioning of any democracy to guarantee fair and impartial justice system that safeguards the rights and freedoms of all citizens. The statement by KJMA Secretary General Tom Mark Orlando said the executive's attacks against the courts must stop and urged all Kenyans to protect the constitution and independence of the judiciary. KMJA says it is the constitutional right of any Kenyan to move to court to protect the constitution, adding that threats and intimidations to litigants was an affront to the rule of law and constitutionalism. All the Law Society of Kenya has joined the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association to call out President William Ruto over his remarks yesterday to government officials to defy court orders, and has now rallied its members to don purple ribbons and stage a countrywide week-long protest against the attacks on the judiciary and in support of the rule of law. Here is that report.
Mambo ya watu wachache. People with vested interest, people who are beneficiaries of the corruption in the former NHIF, ganging up with corrupt judicial officials to stall the program that is going to make it possible for ordinary citizens to access healthcare, so that a few corrupt characters, hospitals, fake doctors can continue to steal from NHIF. I want to tell them it will not happen in Kenya again. And we will stop it. We support the independence of the judiciary, but corrupt judicial officials working with those who vested interests that are benefiting from money stolen from NHIF, who want to perpetuate judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. We will deal with them. We will fight with them. We will not allow them. They will not go far.
It is this statement by President William Ruto that has elicited condemnation by members of the judiciary. In a statement, the Eric Theory-led LSK Council has called out President Ruto for threatening to disobey court orders, saying the remarks are a threat to constitutionalism and the rule of law in Kenya. The lawyers have called for a retraction of the statement by the president, saying they are unfavorable to the government led by him, which was formed and sworn to uphold the rule of law. The LSK is further urging the president to submit the evidence of corrupt judicial officers who are sabotaging the recently enacted Universal Healthcare Fund and the affordable housing projects. The lawyers say the evidence should be submitted to the Judicial Service Commission (JSC) as opposed to public declarations.
Judicial tyranny and judicial impunity. We will deal with them. We will fight with them. We will not allow them. They will not go far.
The lawyers will from next week don the purple ribbon, stage a peaceful countrywide protest in support of the rule of law and constitutionalism. For Hope TV News, watch Melissa Oduor. Elsewhere, a section of United Democratic Alliance UDA lawmakers from the North Rift region have slammed the judiciary over what they termed as being used by the opposition to frustrate the Kenya Kwanza government led by Marakwet West MP Timothy Toroitich. The leaders took issue with Busia Senator Okiya Omtata for having challenged the finance bill at the High Court and now claiming that his life is in danger after President Ruto's sentiments that he will go head-to-head with those he termed as cartels seeking to block every decision by the government. Here's Grace Ahati with that story.
A day after President William Ruto publicly hinted that his administration will not abide by court orders that have stopped his key development programs, a section of UDA members of parliament from the North Rift region have come out to defend him. Speaking in West Pokot, the lawmakers led by Marakwet West MP Timothy Toroitich slammed the judiciary over what they termed as being used by opposition to frustrate the Kenya Kwanza government. The leaders at the same time took issue with Busia Senator Okia Omtata for having challenged the finance bill at the High Court and now claiming that his life is in danger following President Ruto's sentiments that he will deal with those he termed as cartels seeking to block every decision by the government.
Mimi nataka kukemea judiciary kabisa, kwa sababu kuna matapeli, kuna wakora kama kina Okia Omtata wameenda pale kotini na wanapata court orders bila kupitia the right process. Tunashangaa kwamba mtu kama Okia Omtata ako na 40 court orders na zote zina injunct government programs.
Referring to the judiciary's move to halt the implementation of various laws that were assented to by the president after deliberations from lawmakers, the leaders have accused the judiciary of crippling the operations of the government.
Juzi tumejaribu mambo ya housing levy, imesimamishwa na kotini. Finance Act imesimamishwa na kotini. Privatization Act imesimamishwa na kotini. So the judiciary is crippling the delivery of this government.
The president's pronouncements on the judiciary have, however, continued to elicit mixed reactions from various quarters, with the UDA lawmakers saying Ruto's intention is to stop judicial impunity by corrupt judicial officers at all costs.
Hata rais juzi alisema atatumia sword, lakini hakusema atatumia sword huwa Mtata. Ile rais alisema ile sword alisema atatumia ni kufieka ile corruption iko kwa judiciary, ambaye judiciary inafanya court orders bila kuinvolve the executive or parliament.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace, for that report. A day after Azimio leader Raila Odinga threatened to move to court over the capitation for schools, the National Treasury has now announced the release of 31.34 billion shillings. Out of the funds, 4.74 billion shillings will go towards free primary education, while 7.60 billion shillings being capitation for junior secondary schools for Term 1. Some 2.80 billion shillings is meant for school examination and invigilation fees, whereas 16.20 has been factored for free day secondary school. 16.20 billion shillings. With schools set for reopening next week, Raila had accused the government of subjecting children and teachers to undue suffering by withholding the funds. And Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has issued a stern warning against any attempts to revive the outlawed criminal gangs in Mount Kenya, saying he is ready to pay the political price to ensure they are fully dealt with. The Deputy President said the government is on high alert and would swiftly move in to stop attempts by the gangs leaders and their sympathizers to recruit young people in the region, adding that heinous acts they committed previously were still fresh in the memories of the residents. The DP said no one will be allowed to misuse the youth from the region and that those involved in attempted revival will face the full wrath of the law. Following orders to rein in on the gang, the DP said orders had been quickly restored when a revival attempt was made. He also said the fight against illicit brew and drugs was bearing fruit, revealing that efforts had seen the vices drastically reduced in the last 1 year.
Be very truthful people. And don't be intimidated by these criminal gangs to say there is no problem when there is one. Don't. In the year 2006, 2007, 2008, vijana walijiunga kundi haramu. Kiongozi yao akawatuma for forceful circumcision of our women. Wakanajisi watoto wa kike, wakaweka kodi kwa hardware, wakaweka kodi kwa stage, wakaanza kufanya tax collection in Kenya. Ikaenea, nobody could sleep. Ukisema ngwe, wanasema utakuwa kuja kuchukua kichwa yako. Kweli ama uongo? And it caused fear, especially in this region and Rift Valley. And it took one John Mechoke to say, no, that cannot happen. This is a country of the rule of law. Now vijana mambo yao ikafika mwisho. An attempt is being made now to revive that criminal gang. Na hapo 2 months ago walikuwa wameanza kwenda kwa stage kuchukua pesa, kwenda kwa hardware kuchukua pesa, kwanza kuandamana na wamama. Mnataka tuwakubalie? It cannot happen. And so I don't want our leaders to be intimidated. Now watu ni watu wachache, na hakuna vijana ati wanachokota pesa wakatumie, wanapelekea huyo kiongozi yao 90%. Yeye anajenga manyumba everywhere in the country, anatumia vijana vibaya. Ile sisi tunapinga ni kutumia vijana kutoka hapa to engage them in crime. We have a responsibility to protect our young people from being misused by anybody to engage in criminal activities.
And President William Ruto has called on the warring parties in the Sudan conflict to embrace dialogue and work towards the attainment of lasting peace. The president lauded proponents of the Jeddah Initiative for agreeing to work with the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. He observed that IGAD and the African Union are well positioned to mediate in the Sudan situation. He made the remarks during a meeting with Rapid Support Forces RSF General Mohammed Hamdan at State House, Nairobi today. President Ruto commended General Hamdan and the RSF for their commitment to ending the conflict in Sudan through dialogue, stating that Kenya is prepared to go the extra mile to ensure peace is restored in Sudan. On his part, General Hamdan commended Kenya for its efforts to resolve the conflict in Sudan. He expressed their support for IGAD resolutions, describing them as the roadmap to achieving lasting peace and stability, as they are eager for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Let's take our first short break here on Newswatch. More news items are lined up for you. Don't go too far.
Hey, what's up, my people? This is Richard Stephen Ohalo. In this festive season, I have one message for you. No human being can comprehend the love of God. Jesus is here to save our lives. Jesus is here to guide us. In this festive season, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ukidishi, dishi responsibly.
It's finally here. The breakfast show that will kickstart your morning with a message of hope, coupled up with wholesome music, and of course, captivating conversations that matter to you.
We shall touch on topics on law, relationships, the Christian walk, and in addition, we will also be keeping you up to date with news and all the trending topics.
Join me, Beatrice Watare,
and me, Joe Gishoro, every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Hope at Dawn.
Only on Hope TV, where you look
and live.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Mtoto gani katika hii ulimwengu ameitwa Mungu mkuu?
Nasema akasema udhu billahi.
Hata leo usisema udhu billahi, tafadhali usikize.
Yesu ndiye njia. Uchambuzi wa masuala tata katika Biblia na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
We don't believe that Christ was crucified. Christ was taken right to heaven by 4 angels, 4 archangels.
Kama Muhammad ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza kuleta dini ya Kiislamu, na alikuja after Jesus, sasa inawezekanaje Ibrahimu awe Muislamu, Musa awe Muislamu?
Yesu ndiye njia. Jadala wa moja kwa moja kati ya walimu wa Kikristo na dini zingine.
Wanasema Mwenyezi Mungu ana mtoto. Jambo hilo wanasema limeleta jambo ambalo linachukiza.
Siri ya Mungu ambaye Mungu amejidhihirisha katika mili. Hii yote ni ni ukafiri.
Mmefanya makosa makubwa sana kusema kwamba Isa ibn Maryam ni Mungu wa pili na Allah ambaye ameumba mbingu na ardhi mkasema ni Mungu wa tatu.
Yesu ndiye njia. Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1:30 jioni kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Welcome back. Our National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is in Kampala for the 27th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth, CSPOC. The conference is geared towards maintaining, fostering and encouraging fairness on the part of speakers and presiding officers of parliaments. Wetangula has delivered the keynote address on the role of parliaments in mitigating the effects of climate change and safeguarding the environment at the start of the 4-day conference. The CSPOC was established in 1969 and operates on a 2-year cycle where it brings together the speakers and presiding officers of the national parliaments of the independent sovereign states of the Commonwealth. And the death toll from an earthquake that struck Japan on New Year's Day has risen to more than 60 as authorities rushed to bring aid to survivors facing freezing temperatures and heavy rain forecast. Local news outlets further reported that another series of earthquakes in Japan's Noto Peninsula this morning inflicted more damage following the devastating 7.5 magnitude earthquake on New Year's Day, with the latest tremors causing cracks on road surfaces and even seeing some sections cave in. Meanwhile, investigations on the collision of Japan's Airlines A350 and a Coast Guard plane at the Haneda Airport in Tokyo when the airline landed have kicked off. All the 379 passengers were luckily reported safe before the plane was engulfed in flames. The Coast Guard crew members who were reportedly responding to the earthquake, however, died in the collision.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the World?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
My favorite segment now, business news. Airtel Africa has announced the retirement of the Chief Executive Officer Olusegun Ogunsanya with effect from the 1st of July 2024. Ogunsanya, who joined Airtel in 2012, ran the Nigeria operations of the telecommunications and mobile money company for 9 years before his appointment as Chief Executive Officer of the group in 2021. In his place, Airtel Africa has announced the appointment of Sunil Taldar as Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer to succeed Ogunsanya on his retirement. The telecoms company said Taldar, who joined Airtel Africa in October 2023 as Director for Transformation, will begin the transition to the CEO role, working alongside Ogunsanya. It added that Ogunsanya will also be available to advise the chairman, the Airtel Africa board, and the chief executive officer for a 12-month period. To lessons from the entrepreneur tonight's episode, We feature 3 friends who are passionate about technology and who decided to form their own company upon finishing their college studies. This is the story of Tovuti Group, an IT company offering solutions to companies in the oil and gas field, coming up shortly. Today we're in the heart of Upper Hill, Nairobi, where we find the story of Tovuti Group, a group that was formed by 3 friends, Martin, Duncan, and Paul. These friends were brought together by their love for IT, hence the formation of the group that is offering tech solutions to various companies, not only in Kenya, but in the African region as well. My name is Melissa Oduor, and this is Lessons from the Entrepreneur.
My name is Martin Rono. I'm part of the co-founding team of Tovuti Group.
I'm Duncan Jenga-Waiharo, co-founder and CEO of Tovuti Group Limited.
Tovuti Group marks 10 years since it was founded by Duncan, Martin, and Paul, 3 techies who came together to form Tovuti Group, a name coined from the Kiswahili translation of the word internet. The co-founders say they were driven by their passion to offer tech solutions to African companies.
When we were the last year of our studies at the university, so the 2 other co-founders are from Coast. So when we were trying to decide the name, they had their friends. Mataka kuanza kampuni basi mwite Tovuti. And we were like, okay, we can't call it Tovuti. We didn't know what it meant. Then later we realized it means website, web. That's why you hear Tovuti yetu. Yeah, so that's how it came from. It came from that because the 2 co-founders are from Mombasa. So they just suggested it and we went with it. And because we were thinking of creating a big company, so we added group. It was that easy, so we said Tovuti Group.
Tovuti Group is a technology company based in Nairobi, Kenya. We've been around for just over 10 years. We build productivity solutions for industry, specifically for the African market. Primarily, we have 2 main products. One is called Sahara FCS. It's a fuel card solution mainly used by oil marketing companies to manage their customer service. They use our system to offer loyalty. They use our system to manage credit and prepay customers, account customers. Our second product is called Sahara Desk. Sahara Desk is an asset and maintenance management solution. Our customers use it to manage their assets that are spread through a very wide network of locations. We serve customers in 7 countries at the moment: Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Somaliland, Rwanda, and Malawi.
Their common background in technology had an even bigger role to play.
There was, I would say, entrepreneur spirit. People who trying to solve problems. Then over time, because of the myriad of challenges you get when you try and start a business, you get to meet like-minded individuals, you realize you share certain values, and then you go into business together.
It's a group of friends from campus who decided to just go out and try something different. Those days we didn't have a lot of people to look forward to, people in businesses, and we thought we need to start a new culture where you can come out of campus and begin an enterprise. So that was the main purpose that we started Tovuti Group.
Thus, they ventured into the oil and gas industry and offered asset maintenance services to companies in the African region.
The company was registered in 2011, but actual operations began at the end of 2013. There was a need, a gap in the providing technology solutions for oil and gas marketing companies. The first customer was a Kenyan company, but not operating in Kenya at the time. They were based in Rwanda. Then from there, we slowly built with customers in Uganda, Rwanda, and then over time, we onboarded customers in Kenya. So in Kenya, Our customers consume both products, the asset and maintenance management and the fuel card management. In Uganda, we also have customers consuming both. Same in Rwanda. In Zambia, it's only the asset and maintenance management. The asset and maintenance management solution, one of its key goals is increasing efficiency on use of assets, such that if you increase asset efficiency use, you reduce wastage, you reduce pollution. So for example, I would say through our platform, asset owners are able to make sure that their assets are in top-notch condition, which then improves their efficiency, which then increases their lifespan. Again, as a consequence of that, it reduces the carbon footprint and pollution. Our asset and management solution, what it does is it allows big organizations who are spread across a very huge number of locations to manage assets remotely. So what it does is you are able to provide gig economies for people like technicians and plumbers. So for example, one of our customers is managing locations, about just under 500 locations in East Africa. And in all of these locations, he has employed plumbers, technicians, electricians who he manages through our platform, and they are also paid through that platform. So some of those locations are actually in the rural areas, and so that is how those societies or those populations are able to benefit.
Starting off with the company in Rwanda, Tovuti Group has so far clinched deals in 7 African countries.
Primarily in the oil and gas sector, we targeted Tier 2 clients. Tier 2 are all the customers or all the brands that operate just below the oil marketing companies. So Tier 1 would be Total, Vivo, and then Tier 2 will be all the big indigenous companies. But in the other sectors, in manufacturing, in hospitality, in fleet, we target all customers depending on their levels or their size. The products that we offer primarily do not come out of our own thoughts. They're customer initiated. So the oil and gas product, a customer reached out, they indicated their problem they wanted to solve, so we came up with ideas on how they can solve that, and that's how the fuel card product came about. The asset and maintenance management also came about from an existing customer request. So an existing customer came up to us with a problem they had, and together we proposed a solution, which is now what Stanbic funded to become now a full-blown product.
With a solid growth plan, Tovuti Group says it is determined to conquer the African oil and gas market, albeit gradually. They have appreciated their experience in the Ugandan market for its predictability.
I would not say any other place, but I think the best place to do business right now is Uganda. It has always that stability. What you get this year, you will get next year, you will get... What was there 10 years ago is still there today. So predictability is very good for business. I would say again Rwanda, Tanzania not so much, but Kenya we are, I think, the last after Somalia, I would say.
We are tech people, so we try to mentor a lot of youngsters because we know it is very difficult. In fact, we have a plan to work with some universities where people who are in their last year can come and work at Tovuti, so they can gain that experience, and then they're able to go out there and create their own companies. Also, we are working with our partners like Microsoft. They have the internship program, and we try to take people from that program and mentor them in Tovuti.
However, starting their tech solutions company in Kenya remains one hurdle that they say is discouraging to entrepreneurs and tech startups and must be addressed by the authorities.
It's too much of a regulation. For example, for you to work with any government entity, you have to register with the ICT authority, which is a a bureaucratic hurdle. It will take you like 3 months to get that. The increases in laws and levies have not helped. So it's a very tricky period in terms of policy. I think the most effective policy would be to make it easier for organizations to hire. So because I think the digital industry space is easy it is not as capital intensive to start a business. And when it has so many opportunities. So if the government can find, especially with the current policy just to hire one person, leave alone the salaries you are paying that person, the levies that you need to pay for one employee is just too high. So if, let's say I was to employ one person today, I would have to budget for about 50,000 extra just to pay the government. So I'm budgeting for an extra employee for the government. So those policies are what are killing the industry.
We had a challenge in terms of creating a sustainable business because we would focus too much on the tech and you'll end up investing a lot more than you are getting. And it took a lot of time and a lot of guidance from big brothers. We attended an acceleration program with Growth Africa, people who taught us how to have your financial model in place. As much as you love tech, you have to make sure that it is sustainable. That was the biggest challenge, creating a sustainable business. And it means you have to make profits.
Security in the tech space continues to pose a huge challenge, one that Tovuti Group has navigated with their customers quite well so far.
Technology is multi-layered, I would say, and same to security. So it all depends on how end users and customers engage our products. So for example, one of our products is actually the customers engage with it at the forecourt level, at the fuel station. So you have to build technology that can relate to the realities of the person who is selling fuel. That being said, how it is being used at the forecourt and how it is being used at the head office when the customer is trying to bill his or her own customers is different. So what we've tried to do is we've identified who are stakeholders and we've built the different personas into the technology and security. Also, Microsoft has been a big help because, as I said, we are part of the Microsoft partner network.
As with any other business, collaborations and partnerships have played a crucial role in propelling Tovuti Group to the next level.
Clearly, you can't work alone, so we have engaged different partners in different roles. For example, we are a Microsoft partner. We've been able to benefit a lot from some of the Microsoft activities for African startups. We also partner with Stanbic. They were able to fund our development of our second product. We partner with, there's a group called Unthinkable. It's a group for founders based in Kenya. So we have several partners, different needs that make us to go through or follow through those partnerships. We applied for a Stanbic funded grant, which we won. Now we used that facility to now expand the scope of the project because we realized that if this particular customer has this challenge, it sort of cuts across. So that is what Stanbic, the funding that they provided, it afforded us 1 year of doing market research, of doing product development. Yeah, that is what we benefited from Stanbic.
So it came easy for us because when you're in tech, you are doing a lot of software development. And as Martin said, it's very easy to come out and do something even without a lot of capital. So that was a very key thing for us, being in tech. It was very easy to start something. We got a grant application request. And it was very easy because for many of the people who do grants, they would not consider people working in our industry, especially serving oil and gas. And it was very interesting how Stanbic took a different view. They saw the enterprise, the people, and so they invested in us. Most of the grants that were out there would not support people who were creating products for people in oil and gas. So Stanbic was a very perfect partner. And the next thing is they have been, they are aggressive. They are aggressive in what they do, and they followed us. And it's difficult to work with a partner who pushes you, but they make you better. So that's why we chose them. They are very hands-on in what they do. So yeah, that was very interesting.
Their encouragement to those seeking to also venture on their own is to look for co-founders to ease the workload and pursue partnerships that have a common purpose.
If you want to go into business, you look for a co-founder. The journey can be very tough, so you need a partner alongside you. Then the next thing is you have to have some purpose, something that makes you wake up. Because if you don't have that, then when the times are very challenging, it becomes very difficult to wake up and come to job. But when you have that bigger goal, more than making just money, then it will drive you to wake up and do things even when times are very challenging. And then the next thing is you have got to get some core values, what you stand for. If you know what you stand for, then it's very easy even to get a partner who stands for that. Suppliers, customers, you don't have to serve everyone. And so you have a co-founder, you have resilience because you know the main goal, and then you have some core values you stand for.
So much to learn from these three friends who started their journey as college friends. And so for you young people who are thinking of venturing into some of these things that you have studied in school and think you want to be employed first, here's a story of people who started out without first being employed, but just had an idea that they backed into solution making for the many challenges we face in the society. For Lessons from the Entrepreneur, my name is Melissa Oduor.
Je, ushawahi kuweka jambo kwenye mizani? Ushawahi kupata uzito wake? Haya basi, usitapetape zaidi. Naomba unigande, maana mizani ipo hapa kwa ajili yako.
Vyakula na mbegu za kitamaduni,
na kutuliza fikra na kukuwezesha kupima masuala ibuka katika jamii, tena kwa busara. Tukutane mizani kila Ijumaa saa 1 machweo kwenye runinga ya Hope TV.
The following content is made for audiences 18 and under. Viewer discretion is advised for mature audiences.
Expect the unexpected on the Stars Show here on Hope TV. It's getting bigger and better because it's all about talent. Anything goes from singing, open my eyes, dancing, magic, comedy,
handsome ladies and beautiful men.
This show is open to any performer below 18 years of age from any background with any talent. All you need is a skill and a star quality. Just remember to join us every Saturday from 8 a.m. with me, your host, Samara Musheru.
My best part about being a Hope FM listener was Hope Through the Night. My radio was always on at night, just worshiping and getting the sermons at the top of every hour. And it really made me stronger, a stronger worshiper. It made me a stronger worshiper. My best part about being a Hope FM staff has to be treasure hunt with the boys and girls every Saturday morning, being Auntie Rhoda. Oh, I just loved teaching the children. There's a child who wrote in her composition, she was writing about her family, and she wrote one of her aunties is Auntie Rhoda. I was so happy because I'd never met her, but they knew me as their auntie, and just teaching them in the ways of the Lord. So I really thank God for every moment I spent at Hope FM, and even for now, being impacted as a listener.
To the sporting world now, Birmingham City has sacked manager Wayne Rooney after just 15 games in charge of the championship club. The Manchester United legend was appointed on the 11th of October last year, following the controversial decision to dismiss the then manager John Eustace. Now, since then, Birmingham City has slipped to the 20th position. Professional development coach Steve Spooner will now take over interim charge of Birmingham, who have also parted company with one of Rooney's backroom team, former Wolves and Wales midfielder Carl Robinson. Rooney becomes the shortest-serving Birmingham manager in their 132-year history. Rooney has said he will take a break from the game as he prepares for the next opportunity in his journey as a manager. And Manchester United outcast Jadon Sancho might return to Borussia Dortmund on loan this month. The Bundesliga club is willing to offer Sancho a route back in the January transfer window and are optimistic of reaching an agreement for the remainder of the season. Any dealing might require United to pay a significant portion of Sancho's wages, given the huge increase he received when he signed for the Red Devils. Sancho's woes began when he refused to apologize to Erik ten Hag for a social media post after the manager said his omission from September's defeat at Arsenal was related to his performance in training. Sancho, however, rejected this and said he was being made a scapegoat. Since then, he has been training away from the first team with no end in sight to his exile. United bought Sancho from Borussia Dortmund for £73 million in July 2021. And that's how we end Newswatch today. Thank you for keeping me company throughout this newscast. I have been your anchor, Melissa Oduor. Boniface Moredi has been your sign language anchor. Have a good night.